Okay.
All right, so we back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to our engineer T.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
T's doing
bro.
a great job.
Yes, thank you so much, T, and for the wine. Um, but yeah, I wanted us to get back into just the conversation about friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to, if you feel comfortable, to the level you feel comfortable,
Yeah.
for you to talk about maybe one or two like friendships in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and like what makes these friendships valuable
Mm.
for you.
Naima, my
Hmm.
girl. Um,
I love
Naima,
that.
nah, that's the first person I think about. That's really my best friend, man. Like, for real, when I think about anybody that I want to have a conversation with, the first person I really want to talk to about anything that's like has to do with anything is
Yeah.
Naima.
Hmm.
Like, I really want to talk to her first and foremost, because she just she just makes things better, bro. Like, it's hard to explain. It's
Yeah.
really hard to explain what she does, but she just makes things better and she supports me. She knows how to talk to me. She knows how to handle me when I'm dealing with certain things. So for me, it's like I always think about Naima. Like, that's really like my best friend, bro. Like, truly. Like, we get on the phone, we laugh, we
Yeah.
have a good time. We have a good time when we're together. So anything that I want to talk about, I know I can go to her and like feel comfortable in my expression and all that kind of stuff. So that's really one friendship that I value
Hmm.
a lot. I think the next person that I want to name, I was thinking about my pops.
Aw.
But I know these are not like traditional friendships that people are thinking
Yeah.
about, right? I was
That's
thinking about my pops.
okay.
And the reason why I think about my pops is because like that's really my guy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really mess with my pops. Like, I know I can go to him and have any kind of conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna give me a wise African like proverb or something.
I know that's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? He's always gonna give me something, and I'm gonna be like, okay, that's interesting. That
Yeah.
you think of it that way. And so he's a different perspective, and he's older, so he just has so much wisdom. So
Right.
I always love talking to OGs. That's what I call them.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking to OGs because it's like you can learn so much.
So
It
much.
could be such a simple conversation, but they have so many different ways of thinking about things
Right.
that you can learn. So I find that valuable. I always listen more than I talk when I talk to my pops
Mm-hmm.
and just my parents in general. I know people are thinking like, okay, those are not traditional friendships. So let me think about a friendship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who was a friend that I really want to call out? Because I have a few friends that I really, really mess with, man. And I don't want nobody to feel no type of way.
Yeah.
You know
Ain't
what
no
I'm saying?
favoritism here. We just
Yeah.
choosing how
I'm
we
just
choosing.
I'm just picking, right? The last friend that I gotta mention, I have to. Anytime we think about podcasts, I have to talk about this person, David.
Mm-hmm.
Without David, there would be no Express Yourself Black Man. The reason why I say that is because David was the person that pushed me to start.
Right.
I was on Instagram and I would talk about therapy. I would talk about mental health. I would talk about like healing. And David would be in my DMs like encouraging me, bro, start a podcast, start a podcast, start a podcast. I'm like, David, leave me the hell alone, David.
Yeah.
I ain't starting no damn podcast, David. Leave me alone. He'd be like, all right, bro, I'll be back in a month. And
Right.
he'd be, sure enough, next month, he's back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's hitting me. He's like, yo, bro, start a podcast, bro. Start something, bro. Yo, this is dope. This is dope. And a lot of times you can't see it. And you got that person that can really see it in you.
Yep.
And that was the role that David played. He sparked the fire.
Yeah.
Because for me at that point, I felt depleted. I had did a Kizzle brand for 3 years.
Right.
We was in the middle of a pandemic. I'm trying to heal. I just got cheated on. I don't want to start no damn podcast right now, David. I'm
Right.
still figuring my life out. Leave me the hell alone. But he was like, yo, bro, you're saying a lot of dope stuff that we would all benefit from.
Right.
You need to start something. And so out of that, I got like the motivation to actually start something. And I felt like, you know what? I'm going to just do this. It doesn't matter where it goes. And now we at 65K.
Come on.
And it's like,
okay.
bro, like when I think about it, I always have to give David his props because he saw it from the jump. Maybe he didn't see 65K, but he saw
Right.
something,
Right.
that I wasn't necessarily seeing. I wasn't thinking of it as something that I could turn into a platform. I was just thinking of it as like, yo, I just want to talk about these things. I just want to express myself. And that's when the name Express Yourself Black Man came. Cause I was like, yo, express yourself Black Man. Like,
Right.
you need to express yourself and get these things out. And it became like this movement that I want Black men to really embody, which is expressing yourself, obviously healthily, right? Because not all expression is healthy expression, but that's really what I want black men to take away from the platform. Is like, it's okay to express yourself. You need to express yourself, and there's so many different ways in which you can do it, but just don't feel like you can't.
Right.
Right, because I think a lot of times we feel like we can't. So yeah, man, give a shout out to David, man. David's a good guy, man.
Shout out to
David, Naima, and my pops,
And your
for
pops.
sure. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yeah. And like, I guess for you, because I know we kind of talked about me a little bit and kind of things that I look for in friendship. What do you look for in friendship? Like if you're making a new friend or the friends that you have in your life, do you have expectations of them? Do you expect them to show up for you in a certain kind of way? What do you look for?
I don't expect them to show for me at all.
Oh.
When I'm looking, now at this age, and where I'm at in my life, I'm looking for just genuine people that I feel cool and like I could vibe with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could just chill. We could have a conversation, and I could feel that they're genuine. That's what I'm looking for.
Love that.
So for me, I'm not really looking for anything. If you bring something, then it's like, oh shit, this is you. I could vibe with you. We could chill. We could talk, and you're bringing
And
something.
you're bringing something.
All right, cool. I'll take it.
Got
But I'm not really looking for anything, and I just let it manifest into what it will naturally manifest into. So yeah, I'm not really like, I don't really have like a list of things like, okay, this is what they need to do. It's just more so like, I'll see how we vibe and what kind of person they are, and then we'll go from there. Obviously, I'm not gonna be friends with everybody that I vibe with, but at the same time, it's like, I don't come in with like expectations of what I want from that person
Right.
at all. I just let that relationship manifest into what it's gonna manifest into, and I go with the flow. So sometimes it's people where you have a season where y'all are mad close. This feels like this about to be your best friend for the rest of your life. And then some things happen, and maybe y'all not even beefing or anything like that, but just communication cuts off. They may be dealing with something, you may be dealing with something, and now y'all back to associates. You get what I'm saying? I've had that where it's like, okay, cool. I just let it manifest into what it's going to manifest into. And I don't try and force anything. I don't try and, climb upstream. Like, I just go with the flow. I think I do that with most of my relationships, and that's what is most beneficial to me because it's less stressful that way. I'm not expecting you to do anything or be anything because I know you have your own life. And if you do end up being something that's like, all right, cool. But yeah, because I feel like I can have that perspective because I have my core group right now. So like, I don't give a damn if you end up in a core group or not because I got my core group, right?
Right.
So I'm not looking for any added value from anybody else. I think the only place where I'm looking for more value right now is probably in business and like social media and all that kind of stuff, which is why I do the podcast, because I'm looking for people to actively that's more business, but I think like business relationships turn into friendships as well. So
For sure.
yeah.
For me, I know sometimes people say not to mix. I don't know if friendship would be pleasure. I feel like connectivity and friendship is a necessity. So instead of looking at it as pleasure, but they say not to mix the two. But
You got to be friends with your business partners. That's bull.
if you making me money, we friends.
That's not, it's funny. That's not always true though. Like,
Right. Not all
that's
the
not
time.
always true because
Right.
technically Instagram making me money, and I hate Instagram.
Come on, IG making you money.
Technically, IG don't pay me a dime. IG don't pay me for reals, nothing. Yeah. We ain't gonna talk about that, but IG don't pay me a dime.
We talk after.
We gonna talk after. IG don't pay me a dime, but IG technically makes me money because that's where the platform is at, right? So, yes, people can make you money. That don't necessarily mean they your mans.
No, for sure.
Because I've definitely seen that where it's like, man,
Yeah.
I had to get to a point where like, because we grew really fast on the platform, and I'm collaborating with people and people reaching out, and I still see myself. So like you said it before earlier, you're like, oh, Kids are a whole celebrity. I'm like, really?
Yes.
And I still
people know you out here.
I still have I still think to myself like, I don't think of myself like that.
But that's humility, though. I think that's great. That's a great characteristic to have, that you don't see
It's
yourself.
crazy that you think it's humility. I think it's like, I really don't see
Imposter
myself.
syndrome?
Potentially, but at the same time, like, I think what it is that we've grown so quickly, and through social media, and during a time where there's not like a lot of like in-person events and that kind of stuff. So I don't really see it. Like I get DMs, I see the comments, I see the likes, shares and all that kind of stuff, but none of that really registers for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you ever run into people outside and they're like, "Oh my God,"
Yeah, I've had that happen. There's a guy. I'm so glad you said that.
because I'm pretty sure the more you're outside, that will happen. The pandemic is over.
Yo, I'm so weird, bro.
You're weird.
I'm weird. I'm gonna tell you
What
why. I'm gonna tell you
happened?
why. There's a guy, and I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna put it up and be like, bro, can we be friends? There's a guy that I go to the gym every day.
Yeah.
Most days. I go to this gym, and there was this one time, I go with my trainer too. So there was this one time I'm with my trainer. It's in the morning, and I'm using the machine. Somebody walks past me. I think I had my headphones in. Somebody walked past me, and then he stopped and he turned back, and he's looking at me. And you're a black man. It's early in the morning. I'm working out, testosterone high and shit. So I'm thinking to myself like, what the fuck this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's good, bro? Like, come on, man. I'm using the machine, right? So I'm a little taken aback, but I take my headphone out. I'm thinking he's about to ask me for the machine. He's like, yo, bro, you the dude from the page? This the first time I've ever had somebody say that to me, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm like, I had to change from like, you know what I'm saying, to like, oh yeah, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, bro, you mad inspiring, bro. Thank you so much. I'm like, and I start smiling. I'm like, yo, thank you too. I'm like, yeah, no problem, bro. But I ain't really even know what to say, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I came off standoffish or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But bro, I see that man in the gym all the time. We've never had a conversation after that. We don't dap.
Wait, you seen him after that? He hasn't said
I
anything?
see him all the time.
Oh.
I see him all the time and we don't talk. You know what I'm saying? And part of me is like, bro, did you say something that made him feel some type of way? Or maybe he's not trying to approach me because maybe he looks at me as like I'm a celebrity, but I don't think of myself as a celebrity. Like I would very much like to go in the gym and be like, yo, what's good, bro? Like,
Yeah.
yo. But we don't do that. So I'm going to clip this. Hopefully he sees it. But even if he don't, like one of these days I'm going to pull up with him and be like, bro, what's good? Like,
Yeah. You extend that olive branch and be like, what up, bro? We spoke. You
one of
good?
these days. But that's what I'm saying. I'm a little bit weird because I've been thinking about it for a couple weeks now and I've seen him multiple times.
Yeah.
And I have not pulled up and said anything.
That's interesting.
Because I have like a certain level of like social anxiety.
Got you.
Whereas like for me, I don't want it to, I don't know how it's going to be perceived. And I'm nervous. I was going to say scared. That was my subconscious that wanted that to come out. Consciously, I changed it to nervous. But yes, I'm scared because I don't know how the situation is going to play out. Not that anything bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to be rejected. I think that's the ego. It's like, bro, don't pull up on him because he looked like he don't even fuck with you no more. And maybe he unfollowed you from the page and he don't even like you because of something you said. So stop trying to pull up on him.
You didn't even say nothing.
But this is internally what I be thinking. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why do you think like this? What's going on? Like,
Anxiety. That's what it's giving.
yeah, it's anxiety. It's all these irrational thoughts that's stopping me from making, from going and having a conversation with him.
Right.
But I actually fuck with him. And the reason why I fuck with him and we don't even talk is because he comes to the gym consistently.
Love that.
I love when people are disciplined. That to me tells me you're disciplined in something in your life.
Right.
When you can go to the gym consistently, that means you're disciplined in something in your life. It's very hard to go to the gym consistently. It's very hard to do anything consistently. So when I can see that exhibited in somebody, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We can build off of that.
For sure. That's
So-
somebody I want to be around.
Yeah.
I can learn
So
from you.
when I see him next time, maybe not next time, but
Yeah.
one of these when I'm ready,
When you're ready, say something to that man, okay? Because if you didn't say anything, maybe he could be like,
yo, one of these days.
Yeah.
But nah, I think he really I think he doesn't want to bother me.
could be.
And he thinks that like this is like my sacred time and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, yo, bro, like I mess with him. I think he's a cool dude.
No, literally. I feel like to what you were saying, I could kind of relate a little bit. I don't think I have as much limelight and famous celebrity on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Because people who know me or who've known me have seen the podcast grow exponentially. I've had a couple of like well-known
People,
I've had celebrities on the pod,
Mm-hmm.
and like in people who have known me, in their brains, it's like
You a celebrity now.
you a celebrity now.
Yeah.
But it's like I do not operate that way. I
Yeah.
do not move that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Mhm.
Whatever y'all think, that's what y'all think. But I know that I am a regular civilian from Queens, New York.
Yeah.
So I went to a party, a function, a couple months back, and somebody that I know or I've known, it was really strange because like I was having a conversation with my friend, and the person just kind of pulled up and like just started talking to my friend while I was there talking to them, and then kind of just basically just hijacked the conversation. And I was just standing there, and then I said hi to them because like it was weird to me that like
They didn't say anything to
they
you?
didn't say anything to
Yeah,
me at
you
all.
don't do that.
And then I was just like, I just was like, hey. And then they were like, oh my God. And then they hugged me like, I'm so proud. Like, it was kind of weird because they were just like, I'm so proud of you. Like, but I'm like, you didn't even, like in my head,
Yeah,
I was just thinking like they literally just like ignored me for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But then they were obviously feeling something differently once I like broke that ice and said, hey.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, basically I feel like they kind of played it off like, oh, like I didn't see you, or I didn't realize you were there or something. And mind you, I didn't say anything about it. So I was just like, I feel like sometimes people there, because I feel like there's a like a phrase or a quote where it's like perception is reality. So for some people, perception is reality. Whatever they perceive you to be now, or whatever they think you are now based off of social media, they'll start operating like that when they see you. And it's like, me personally, I feel like I've grown and I've matured and I've gotten older, but I think to my core, I'm the same person that I've been, regardless of like, you know, like some shine or limelight or whatever. Like that's not gonna change who I am to my core. So like, if I was rocking with you and we was cool and we was conversing, like
Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't I see you and speak to you? That's weird.
That's the thing people don't understand. I truly believe in this. Money and fame and status only make you more of who you are. A perfect example of that, and I know people may think this is weird, but is Lil Uzi Vert. Reason why I say Lil Uzi Vert is because if anybody that listens to Uzi, that looks at him, that knows his that follows him, knows that Uzi is probably one of the most genuine artists that you will ever meet. Has conversations with his fans, will talk to them all the time. He's not out here doing dirt. You know what I'm saying? Uzi is chilling.
Yeah.
Money, status, fame has just made him more of who he is. Who he is. People think he's weird, right?
Yeah.
But that's what he was before all that. You know what I'm saying? It just made him more of who he is. I love Uzi. Because he's a perfect example of a black man that's living his life, expressing himself. He's not hurting anybody. He's just chilling, doing his thing.
Right.
And the money, status, and fame hasn't changed him and made him a terrible person. You get what I'm saying? And I think of myself as that too, because I ain't listen. First of all, money, we gonna cut that out because the money ain't hitting like that. But we gonna talk about status, right?
Yeah.
And fame, right? Just make me more of who I am.
For sure.
I'm not out here like, okay, I got 65,000 followers on Instagram. Anybody can talk to me. Nobody can talk to me. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's not who I've ever been.
Yeah.
Right? The point of me having more people on the platform is so that I can be able to help more people.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's never going to make me less of who I am. It's only going to make me more of who I am, because the whole purpose of this platform has been to help. So yeah, man, like I think of it from that lens. So anybody that has any thoughts on like celebrities or people with fame or status or anything like that, thinking that they're going to act different because they have that, they're not acting different. They're just being who they always are, who they always were, and maybe they weren't able to be that way before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I second that. And a lot of times too, what it is when people's status grows or gets bigger, people's entitlement also gets bigger. So I feel like people feel, especially if they've known you, they feel, this is a whole other conversation, but
You're going to give me my bag, bro.
what it is people's entitlement grows. And so now it's, you're weird, you're acting weird, you're ignoring me, why aren't you responding? And it's like, I've been wasn't responding. Why is it such a big deal now? I'm not doing anything different. I'm just living my life and being who I am, and you now feel like I should, respond right away to you.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I think like I've experienced that probably on a smaller scale than I don't know if you have any experiences with that.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So I've experienced it on a smaller scale,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like when it comes to that, you just gotta brush it off and be like, whatever.
Yeah, man. I have some people that I will never work with again.
Mm.
Like literally never again, because I know what it was for you, and I don't like working under those conditions. Like there's people that smaller platforms where we've done certain things, and it comes to like disseminating content and all that kind of stuff, and then it was insinuated that I was doing it for a certain reason, or that I had certain thoughts about it, or whatever the case may be, or that I was just trying to solely benefit and leave them out, and all these different kind of things. And I'm just like, yo, bro, what? How? I'm posting the content.
Yeah.
I'm tagging you.
Yeah.
I want people to come to your platform. I enjoyed being on your platform. Anytime I collaborate with anybody, initially, the thought is I mess with you.
Right.
I do my research before I get on any person's podcast or any person's platform, because I want to see what the vibe is, and
Yeah.
if I can vibe in that and do something. So whenever it comes to collaborations, my intention is always for that platform to grow and do more initially, unless I learn something that I'm like, nah, I don't really mess with it. I've had that happen maybe one time, but any other time I'm like, yo, bro, I mess with y'all, like let's do stuff. But there was situations that happened with a couple of different collaborations where it's insinuated that I had a certain character, and that's one of my main. That's a big trigger for me. I talk to my therapist about that all the time. When people misjudge who I am or question my integrity, that shit triggers me crazy. I've had to learn how to really deal with that. So when I had that happen on a platform, I really had to get to a point where I was like, you know what? These people don't understand me. They don't know me. They don't know who I am. They just see a certain number of followers, and they assume that I'm Hollywood or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times for me, it's like, bro, I don't see myself as that, right? And so when I'm collaborating with smaller platforms, I'm not thinking, okay, this is a smaller platform and they have to do this and that. I'm just going to use them for this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, bro, like this is a platform. You guys are doing great work and I want to help out. So when I get feedback that's, oh, you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that and you weren't trying to help us and da 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 blah blah, I'm like, okay, cool. We're never gonna work again, because for me, that's never what it is.
Yeah.
And there's a certain level of entitlement that's coming with that, because I've gotten times where like I put something up and then I got a whole email. You know what I'm saying? Like a long, lengthy email about this is what you was doing and this ain't really helped me and I can't believe you was doing this, da da da. I know you did this, but you should have did this way, da da da. And I was like, wow. It was all good when we was on the podcast.
Yeah.
I did not get this energy when we was on the podcast, when you was reaching out, all that kind of stuff. Never got this energy, but now things are going out on the platform. You're not getting the reach that you wanted, and you're mad at me.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, people have a certain level of entitlement when it comes to collaborating with bigger creators. That's what I've had multiple times.
Yeah.
I've had people that nitpick at words that I use in content that we've collaborated with. I've had people that are like, your platform benefited more from this collaboration than my platform did. And I'm
that
like,
can happen though. I think
yeah, but it's
people-
almost impossible for that to happen if you have a certain number of followers. You get what I'm saying? You follow where I'm going?
I follow.
You get what I'm saying?
I follow.
If you have a extremely small platform, you
Yeah.
have less than like 1,000 followers,
Yeah.
and I have 30, 40, however many K followers,
Right.
and we do a collaboration, most likely I'm not going to benefit more than you're going to benefit.
Right.
The reason why is because I already have more followers.
Yeah, you're already situated.
I'm already
have
situated.
following, your audience.
Right.
You're good.
So how in the world, when I'm tagging you,
Yeah.
most of your audience probably already follows me, already is aware of what I'm doing if we're already in the same field, how am I benefiting more than you?
That's so.
When the content is getting the same amount of engagement that it will normally get, but on top of that, you're getting tagged. So what do you think is happening? People are going to go and look at your platform. At the very least, they're going to look at your platform. Now, whether they decide to follow you or not,
Right.
that's not on me.
Right.
That's your job.
Right.
I've done my job.
Right.
I created the engagement.
Yeah.
I just did a podcast the other day, and I've been posting clips about it, and it's getting a lot of engagement, right? But that doesn't mean that people are gonna follow that podcast.
Right.
It's up to that podcast, the owners of that platform to then do the work.
Absolutely.
You have to go in the comments. You have to respond to people. You have to like comments. You got to follow people first sometimes. You got to be active. That's what I was doing to grow the platform. This ain't happened from me just posting content.
Nothing happens over just
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen overnight either.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times there's a certain level of entitlement, and you can't get I call it a placement or a feature from a big platform and just assume that everybody from that platform that follows that platform is going to follow you. That's not how this works.
Of course.
I've never done a feature with a bigger platform just assuming that everybody from that platform is going to follow my platform. I never think of it that way.
Right.
People follow the platform because of the consistency and they like what they see on the platform. That's a reflection of the work that I do.
Yeah.
When I do a collaboration with a bigger platform, if you're doing a collaboration with a bigger platform and you're not getting followers from that, it could be because you're not getting engagement. But if you're getting engagement and you're not getting followers, that's because you're not doing something. And people don't like to point the finger at themselves.
They don't.
They rather say, well, you didn't tag me here and they didn't see it.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a collaboration post with you, you're tagged.
Yeah.
If I have your name inside of the content, you're tagged.
Yeah.
And you can also tag yourself by making a comment.
Mhm.
So what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Break
It's like,
it down. Break it down for them because I feel
what are
like,
we saying?
Yeah, you have to. And I think sometimes too, when people who maybe could be newer in the social media realm, they may not be privy to certain things. But I think that similar to you, I've never thought about it in a way, and that kind of goes back to our original conversation of like, what are you doing it for? Because for me, I don't. Whenever I reach out to someone, collaborate with someone, I'm not even thinking about social media until it's time. Okay, we got the content now. It's time to post. Me, I don't like where I'm at right now. And I have this conversation all the time with my homie Mac. Shout out to Mac, the therapist. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Shout out to my homie Mac. I talk about this all the time. I'm not playing a social media game
Mm-hmm.
because I understand that the algorithm and everything changes like clockwork. I'm not playing the game. What I'm doing is I'm being who I am.
Yeah.
I am a mental health counselor. I am a Black woman. I'm somebody who genuinely cares about people, and social media can help to amplify the message that I'm trying to put out.
Right.
So I feel like once I create the content, I've done 90% of the job.
Right.
The 10% is
Is
Instagram
on.
and social media. And what I do with that is you create social media clips. You repost things. You do other, at least for me, my experience, my engagement's grown a lot in the past from the pandemic, the past 2 years has grown a lot. And I think that really is just a testament, one, to consistency, because I've been doing this for years. And also just some of the collaborations for sure I feel like have been a part of it. But also just really not I feel like I'm very just I feel like honestly the truth is I'm very low maintenance when it comes to or just I don't even know if low maintenance is the right word, but I'm very I don't put a lot of energy on the social media part of it, but really that comes from me just being very busy and tired all the time because social media, when you are actually on it and doing it, it requires, it's effort, it's work. It's not, for me, it's work and it's effort. If you've really done it for real, it's not just it looks smoother than it actually is.
Man.
So for me, I don't play the game, probably because of stuff like that. Where it's I don't want to now, I'm not, what are we talking about? What are we even posting for? My God, it's literally to reach people, to make an impact. So now to be going back and forth about what's what and what's what. And usually 9 times out of 10, if I reach out to a guest, and I had this conversation with Mac the other day too, I was saying if I reach out to a guest to come on my podcast, my only expectation for them is to show up.
Right.
Anything else after that,
Right.
is up to them, and it's not going to affect me one way or the other because I've done what it is that I wanted to do, which was have a conversation with them, and now we have a message that can go out there. Whether they tag me, whether they post it on their platform or not, is not anything of my business. But going back to the point, entitlement is real, it's crazy, and I feel like people need to seek help because it's just bad.
We just gonna leave it at that. Seek help.
But no, don't let them get to you though.
No,
Please.
that was months ago. I'm good.
Okay, good. Because
That was months ago. I'm straight. Just once you mentioned it, I was like, you know what? This is a perfect time to just.
yes. And you've gotten to a certain level of when that starts happening.
Yeah, it was weird for me too because I had a certain level of what is the word, naivete, right? When it comes to, I'm still naive about it. I'm delusional, I guess, at this point because you're here like, yo, you're a celebrity. I'm like, no, I'm not, Mo. Stop, right? You know what I'm saying? But this is the problem because the naivete will have me thinking, oh, everybody just got genuine intentions and people just see me as this chill dude that's on Instagram that talks about mental health. But no, people see me as a lick. They see me as a social media lick. Like, yo, if I get partnered with this dude and we do some content, it's going to be up.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So they come in with their expectations. So when they come in with their expectations and maybe I'm not meeting those expectations or we didn't even communicate about said expectations, then it's a problem. Me personally, every podcast I go on, I'm taking mental notes about content that I'm going to put on social media. So I'm already trying to figure out how we can make content that's going to do well on the platform, which will ultimately help that person as well.
Yeah.
Just did a podcast yesterday. In the middle of the podcast, I'm taking notes for my editor. You get what I'm saying? I'm saying some things. Let me make sure I write this down. It's going to do well on my platform. It's also going to help this podcast out.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm never in it for just me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always, anytime we do a podcast, it's always going to be a collaboration that's going to ultimately help that podcast out as well.
Yeah.
So I'm never like, and that's why I always get taken aback when people are like, well, this didn't do this, or you weren't thinking this way, or whatever the case may be. 'Cause I'm like, bro, how you think that about me? Because I'm always collaborating. I'm always trying to bring attention to other platforms. And I'm always trying to make sure that people get their credit. Because when I first started on social media, I felt like I had a couple of instances where people would steal my content.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and just post my stuff. That's why I put my name on everything.
Have to.
That's why I put Express Yourself Black, man. I don't give a damn if it's just a little that logo going somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I put my stuff on everything because I had certain situations where I wouldn't get my credit. And so I take that with me where it's like, if I'm on social media and I'm doing some content like this podcast, it's me speaking, right? Even if I post my clip of me speaking, I put myself as a speaker and I say credit the Your Mental Matters podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's your content. And I want people to know that it's coming from your podcast, right? And so that they can go there and listen to the actual episode. And then I ask for permission to actually have the full video to post on my platform if that's possible.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, that's how I do it. So I'm never thinking with the intentions of sabotaging or doing anything. So anytime I get that, I'm just always like, you know what? Whatever, man. We're just not gonna collaborate again in the future, and that's unfortunate. But people like you that I feel comfortable with, yeah, we gonna do it again. We can do it 10. We can do it however many times you want.
You know, we running this back because this is I genuinely. I mean, I feel that from you as well. Authenticity and genuinely just vibing, having a great conversation. That's all I want. Like I'm telling you, anybody who I've had on the pod, that's what it's been. I don't think I can't tell you. I haven't had one guest where I was like, that was weird. I haven't had that.
That's good.
So like, because
you do a good job of scouting and like making sure that you're doing your research beforehand.
absolutely, because it's like I feel like I'm very intentional. Like because I feel like the niche is mental health. I'm very like when I go about choosing who I want to come on, it's specific. It's specific. Like I want to know. Like, of course, I'll do my research. I'll probably stalk their Instagram for a little bit, but then also like really tap into their content. Like what do they stand for? What are they doing? And I mean, that's why sometimes like when it comes to like, any podcasters out there or people who want to start a podcast, like really just getting down to like what your niche is helps you a lot to just avoid, I feel like some of the, even though I feel like your niche is clear, I think you're just big now. So you're going to deal with bullshit. Yes.
That's true.
You're
That's
like
true.
super big. But I think like, yeah, when it comes to like, I just get real specific. Like, what do I want this episode to be about? Is this person able to touch on that? Are they qualified? Yes. Like I had maybe a couple episodes back, I had a personal trainer on here.
I saw that one.
Yeah. And that episode, I really loved it, but he has a large following as well. And like a lot of people were engaging in my content after that episode. And I got some nasty comments that had came through, and I haven't experienced that before.
Yeah.
So I'm over there like,
Yeah.
who like the New York in me wants to be like,
Ooh, that.
who you talking to and who are you talking about? But then the professional was just like, I don't know these people. They don't know me.
Right.
Whatever. And it literally was like the 60-second clip that they picked apart who I am and what my thought was about what he was saying. And I was like, you know what? This is where just having to really chalk it up to, this is the space that you're in, and understanding like this is gonna happen.
Yep.
It comes with the territory, and just being able to brush it off. But I think for that day, once I saw like some comments, I was like, oh, I was thinking about it for the day. Like, damn, do I feel this way about myself? No, I don't. So whatever.
Yeah.
Bye.
It used to really get me. I put up a clip earlier this week, or I think actually yesterday. Put up a clip. I talked about this is why I listen to my girl, right? And I was saying basically how I would take a lot of comments on the page like it would hurt me, and I would take it as a personal attack, and I would have a conversation with her, and she would help me to understand like they have their own perspective on what it is that I said, and it's not necessarily an attack on me.
Right.
And so I had to really learn that on social media that everybody has their own perspective, and you can't go on social media trying to people please.
Right.
And I don't do that anymore. I put my content up. If you don't agree, you don't have to be here, bro.
That part.
You don't have to be here. Or you can disagree in the comments, and I'm just not going to engage with you.
Right.
You know, or if you want to disagree, maybe I'll leave a response. But I'm not going to give you power over my day, because what will end up happening is I get a negative comment, then I'm in my bag for the whole day.
The whole day is crazy.
I can't work for the next few hours off of what this person said to me. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no, we ain't doing that no more. So I don't even go through the comments most of the times. On a rare chance that I do and I see something, and I just leave it, man. I just keep pushing, because I don't have time to be like, bro, I got so much different stuff that's going on. I don't have time to be wasting sitting here trying to respond to negativity.
Exactly.
I'm really at that point now where it's like, yo, bro, I could really be doing better things. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really
I
crazy.
could only imagine, because your engagement is tough. I've gone through some of them comments because I just wanted to see what people were saying about the content, and I've been like, woo.
I don't even, woo.
Right.
I don't even know what's in the comments
Don't even
anymore.
look at it.
And you know what? That used to hurt me, man. It used to hurt me because I mess with the community, bro. But I got to a point where I literally cannot go through the comments because you got all of these type of people that a lot of the people that comment negativity are in a really bad space, bro.
For sure.
Like, and they just want to bring you into that space. And I cannot afford to be in that space.
Right.
Because if I'm in that space now, I can't operate the platform. If I can't operate the platform, now we got other people that are seeking out help that cannot be helped.
Right.
All because this idiot doesn't know how to manage their emotions and is triggered and wants to leave a comment.
Yeah.
And technically, I'm part of that crew because I don't know how to manage my own emotions, and I'm getting dragged into it by now allowing that comment to affect me. So personally, I got to a point where I was like, I had a conversation with my therapist, I had a conversation with my girl, and I had to come to the decision of not reading comments anymore. And that was a tough decision for me, bro. Literally a tough decision for me because I really messed with the community. I wanted to go through the comments, and that was something that I was regularly doing. I was always going through the comments, responding to people and all that kind of stuff. But now, nah, bro. Especially on the reels. The reels? Woo!
That's where them comments be coming in heavy. I don't even want to read comments though. Like after that one little, I was like, you know what? No, you've done your job for the community. You put the content out. You got the resources. You got Safe Haven. Listen.
Yeah, I'm
for
good.
Me. Same for me. I'm like, listen, I'm doing the work in real life. Like I have a caseload of people that I am working with on a daily basis. I have all of these links in my bio.
What are you doing? That's what I start
Y'all
thinking.
gonna leave me alone in these comments.
That's what I start thinking to myself. What are you doing?
Literally.
You commenting, telling me what I could be doing better. What are you doing, bro?
Right.
Tell me what you doing.
Right. And
That's what I start thinking.
and the people who comment the negativity be having like Medusa as their profile picture and be having like 3 followers. Like, bro, why are you hiding? Like, reveal your true self. How about
You know what the funny, yo, bro, I got such a funny story. Bro, there was a time where I got like a comment, bro. I've had this happen multiple times where I get a comment and I read the comment and I'm triggered. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to get him, bro. Nah, bro, I'm really about to violate. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? Before you say anything, just go on their profile real quick. I click on the profile. I start going through. I click on a couple photos. I'm like, this is the person commenting?
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm not even responding, bro. This not even worth my time.
I don't even deserve my
This not even worth my
Typing.
time, bro. Why would I respond to this? And this not even me being Hollywood. This is like me if I was a regular person, because technically I'm not a regular person anymore, and I was walking down the street. I wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not even to be disrespectful, but it's like, yo, bro, we not even breathing the same air.
We're not.
So why am I going to sit here and waste energy responding to you on social media? No.
Right.
I got a bunch of other stuff that I need to be doing. That's happened multiple times when people leave comments. I'm like, bro, I would never want to be you.
Right. Never.
Never. Why are we even going back and forth?
Even on my worst day, I'm cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, facts. Like, I'm good. So I'm not going to respond to that. Like, and I'm at the point now where it's like, I want to focus more on the positivity than the negativity. And I just leave it at that, man. I leave it at that for real.
Absolutely.
I know you got some questions though.
Yeah.
What's
this
up?
was good. This was good. The social media conversation is important, especially people in the wellness space. I feel like we probably don't have enough conversations about it. Like, I would love to have like a little powwow with all of the mental health and wellness people who are like on the front lines doing the work, and just how they navigate.
You know
Because
you know what the problem is? A lot of us think that social media ain't real. I keep seeing that. People be like, social media ain't real. Social media is not real. Social media not real. Yeah, all right.
I kind of feel that way a little bit. Well, I feel like perception is reality. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So I think like whatever you perceive to be real based on what you see on social media is your reality, because you'll start moving that way. But I don't take everything I see on social media at face value. I'm like, let me see in real life what it's about.
Nah, facts. That's
in
true.
person, I mean.
That's definitely true. But I think for me, the reason why I brought that up is because we having a conversation about therapists and like how therapists move on social media and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But I think a lot of us, not me personally, but in the mental health field, don't take social media that seriously.
Right.
And I think that's a
That's the
big
problem.
I think that's a mistake too. Because what are you doing for most of your day? You're scrolling through social media. A lot of us are scrolling through social media. A lot of us are spending most of our day on social media. So how is it not real? How are we not taking it seriously if this is where we're spending most of our time? That's where I see a problem. And also I see a problem when people are very clearly communicating that they care heavily about social media when they take their life and their letter is posted on social media. I didn't even leave a physical letter. My letter is my Instagram caption. You get what I'm saying? So when I start seeing that, I'm like, you take your social media very seriously.
Yeah.
If this is where you left your last remarks. You get what I'm saying? So I think we need to start thinking of it as like, yo, bro, it is very real for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we have to understand how to create better realities inside of social media, which is why the platform for me is very important.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we try to downplay social media because we think like, okay, this is virtual. We need to do things in person, all that kind of stuff. And I'm there too. I get that. We need to do the in-person stuff.
For sure.
Don't get me wrong, but you need to be on social media too advocating.
Yeah.
And you need to create content that people feel seen in.
Right.
And if you're not doing that, then you're not really and truly doing the best job that you could be doing. I think a lot of people get uncomfortable with that because they're good with the in-person stuff.
Right.
But I don't know how to reach you on social media. And so I'm going to downplay social media and say it ain't real because that feels more comfortable for me. And that's why I say people be playing with me.
Ooh,
And that's what I'm saying. People. That's why I say people be playing with me. But we ain't, you know what I'm saying?
that's interesting.
We ain't gonna get into all that. But that's why I
Yeah.
say people be playing.
Yeah, I
Because
get-
they see the platform, they understand the platform, they know that I have a connection with these men, but I don't get invited to the events.
Ooh,
You get what I'm saying? I don't get invited to the events. I don't get a collaboration requests when it comes to these events. None of that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, oh.
what do you think it is? Because I feel like they could be hating.
No, it's not that people hating.
What do you think it is?
I think it's multiple things. I think it's multiple things. I think it's the fact that I'm young.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that I'm not a licensed therapist, and it's the fact that it's social media based. And people see all of those different things, and they're like,
No.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. But here's what I'll say to that, right? A lot of black men are not coming to mental health events. It's just the average black man is not gonna spend an hour, 2 hours of his day going to a black mental health event. Why is that? Is it because it's taboo? Is it because there's a stigma? I think it's because a lot of black men don't feel seen in these events. You're having events where even if you do have black men, those black men are probably 60, 70, whatever the age may be. They don't feel seen. I don't want to go to a black mental health event that's all the way out in the city that doesn't have anybody that represents me. That doesn't look like me. I mean, look like me. I'm not saying just a regular black man or a black therapist. I'm saying someone that looks like me, talks like me, I can really relate to in my age group. And I think a lot of people in the black mental health space don't understand this. And this is where we go back to the lived experience versus the clinical and the research and all that kind of stuff. We put so much emphasis on the research. That's important. Don't get me wrong, that's very important. But the lived experience is important as well. And when you don't have people that represent the people that you're trying to take care of, they're not going to show up.
Right.
When they don't feel seen, they're not going to show up. When we don't make this part of the culture, make this something cool, they're not gonna show up.
Right.
And I think that's why we need to take social media more serious as well.
Yeah.
Because social media sets the culture.
Right.
It does, whether you want to believe it or not. Nobody's reading newspapers anymore. Songs start popping off of TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
Reels. You start listening to songs on Instagram and TikTok before you listen to them anywhere else. Social media is very real and it dictates a lot of our lives.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, yo, bro, we got to start thinking about how we can integrate more people that look like the people that we're trying to reach.
Yeah.
And I think that's also part of the problem. A lot of times we plan these events, we're not even trying to reach the middle-aged black man. We don't give a fuck, excuse my language, when it comes to these mental health events. We don't give a fuck. Like, whoever shows up, shows up.
Yeah.
Why aren't we trying to reach the black man that looks like me?
Right.
Why aren't we trying to have those conversations? Why aren't we thinking about ways of how we can get black men out?
Right.
Why aren't we thinking about creative ways in which we can market these events to black men? Why aren't we doing that? And I think a lot of times it comes down to we're having an event, there's good stuff here, they should just show up. No,
Yeah.
they should not,
Right.
because they don't feel seen.
Right.
And it's obvious that you're not putting the work in when you're not even marketing it. You know what I'm saying? When you're not marketing it to them, when you're not reaching out to them, when you're not asking them for their input. This is all very important. And that's what I spend my time doing on the platform. I listen and I ask and I remarket and I re-advertise and all these different things. I re-strategize around what I get from the community and I make it authentic.
Yeah.
And so when we have events and when we do things, black men are going to show up because I'm doing it in a way in which I know I would show up if it was something that I saw on social media, even if I wasn't interested in therapy, because these are the men that we're trying to reach. But I think a lot of times when we plan these events, we're not thinking about that. And we don't really care. It's like, okay, whoever shows up, shows up. So that's my thing. I wasn't even really trying to talk about that today.
No.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, I'm glad we got into it.
But it came out because I'm thinking about it and we started talking about social media and about how people just don't take social media serious, and we should.
Yeah.
We really should, because that's where these black men are at. The ones that you try to reach, They on social media. The ones that need help, they on social media. So what are you gonna do to make them feel seen so that they come out and so that they come out and start taking this stuff more seriously? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure out how to do. That's why the platform is successful, because I spend time figuring out how to do that. It's not just random ass posts on social media with the hopes that it gets engagement. It's research into the psyche of black men my age based off of the engagement that I've got on previous posts,
Yeah.
and making sure that I tailor that to what I know they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do that on podcasts. I do that in person. I can do that virtually. I can do that however, because I've spent the time and the hours doing it. So that's why I'm saying when I feel like people playing. Because for me personally, I'm going to just say it. I feel like if you're trying to reach a middle-aged black man between the ages of 25 to 40, if you're trying to reach that age group, I should be there. That's just how I feel at this point. If you're trying to reach that age group from 25 to 40, I should be there. Just point blank, period.
Yeah.
I should be called. That's how I feel at this point. Call that entitlement, call it whatever you want to call it. I call it knowing my value and knowing what I'm doing in the platform.
Come on, knowing value.
Nah, seriously, I'm at the point now where I'm tired of dealing with imposter syndrome, because I'm in a space where people aren't progressive.
Talk that talk, you heard.
I ain't gonna lie.
You heard what he said. Stop playing around with this man.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm tired of dealing with that because people don't want to be progressive.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, you don't want somebody to come and talk from their perspective when you obviously see their perspective is getting results on social media.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to the social media ain't real thing. It's like, oh, cool, pat on the back, that's nice. But we gonna have this in-person thing.
Yeah.
And
You know what? I think what I think it could be, right? Just coming from like a more, I guess, clinical space, what it could be. Because I do not see your social media presence as like less than. Or like, I feel like you should be in those rooms. I agree with you. I feel like you should be called because even just, not to put T on the spot, just her, even what she shared with you about, the two men in her life who she shared the information and off top. And I'm sure there's so many other people. Express Yourself Black Man is like all over. You feel me? National. So I think there's no reason why you're not in those rooms. From a clinical standpoint, what I feel like it could be is, as far as mental health counselors, therapists, psychologists, whatever, because obviously there's so many, social work, whatever, there's certain, which at least I know from the way that they think and other therapists that I'm around, it's like, okay, boom. In order to be able to, at least how they feel, I don't know that I necessarily agree.
no, tell me, yeah.
How most therapists feel is, in order to be able to speak on certain things, you have to have certain, whether it's credentials, schooling, training, all of this stuff. And this is just speaking clinically, right? And I understand that, right? Obviously, because I went to school, I have my master's in mental health counseling. I am now a therapist working with, but I understand that there's so much more that, or we can just get further if we had people like you, more people like you.
Here's what I'm gonna say, right? We talked about research and experience, and this is how clinicians think about this.
Right.
When you said you have your master's, you said you have your master's in mental health counseling?
Yes, I've graduated with my master's in mental health counseling.
You want me to tell you what my first thought process was after you said that?
What is it?
I said I have a master's in being a black man. That's the first thing I thought about.
Right.
I have a master's in being a black man. What I mean by that is I've spent 25 years of my life on earth living as a black man.
Right.
What that means is I understand what it means to be a black man more than anybody else that's on the stage talking from a perspective of clinical, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Because I've been a black man.
Yeah.
Right? And then we get into conversation, well, you have people that are spent 50 years being a black man, right? There's different generations.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I've grown up in a generation in which things are different from when somebody was growing up, if they're 40 or 50 or 60 or whatever the case may be. So again, it goes back to the conversation of lived experience versus the clinical and the research and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna get my degree.
of course.
Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna get my degree, but we cannot discount the lived experience. And I think that's what's
Never.
happening a lot of times in the Black mental health field. It's like, but is there a study behind that? It's like, bro, everything doesn't have to have a study.
No.
We have to get away from that, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Because, again, what I was saying earlier is a lot of the studies weren't geared towards us.
Right.
We have to be able to create solutions for us. And I think a lot of people are just scared to speak about what they think may work that's outside of what may be deemed as traditional. And I'm just tired of trying to make everything fit into what society has already created in terms of solutions for us.
Yeah.
We get nowhere trying to recreate the same solutions or regurgitate the same things. We have to try new things. We have to be more creative in the Black mental health field. That's all I'm. That's basically my point. Is we
Yeah.
have to be more creative,
Yeah.
and we have to be able to open the doors to other people that clearly have a voice
We talked about it earlier, gatekeeping.
to have these conversations.
I don't believe in the gatekeeping policy. There's no reason why there's certain people like I don't subscribe to that. So that's why I fully agree with what you're saying. I don't see why you aren't getting called, you aren't in those rooms. You know, whenever I have something coming up, I'm calling you.
Hit
I'm like,
me.
hello.
Hit me. I'm there.
I'm always like, and there will be a whole bunch of, there'll be psychologists in the room as well. There'll be social workers in the room. There'll be other mental health counselors in the room. And I feel like you belong in the room, whether you have a degree or not. To me, I'm a millennial. You know, like I understand completely everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
I think you add value in this space. I feel like I wish there was more platforms like yours, maybe years prior, because the generations before us would probably be in a different space or just have more resources and access.
Right.
Like I don't feel like there's any reason why you should feel stifled in
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah.
And if there are people who have the power to open up that door for you that you know or that you've, bumped shoulders with or elbows with at any point, there's no reason why
That's not happening.
Right, it's not happening.
Here's the thing, right? Man, it's not even that I feel stifled. It's just that I feel like I'm not being seen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not being seen. That could be a variety of different things. But for me personally, that's why it puts me in my bag. Because it's like, for me, I'm like, I'm going to just show you. It's cool. I don't need to reach out because I'm going to have the work, I'm going to have the work speak for itself. So,
And who are you not being seen by? Because I see you. And I'm pretty sure people close
Yeah.
to our
Yeah.
generation or close to our age bracket
I
see
have-
you. But who are you not being seen by?
I
that
feel
you're
like
gonna be
I
seen
feel
by?
like the people, like the real people see me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the average person sees me, right? I think in terms of like the bigger names in the space and the bigger events in the space in which I could really speak at and
Yeah.
really help to grow not only the platform but help to put on teenagers and young
Right.
adults.
Yeah.
I feel like those events are not geared towards teenagers and young adults. And I think that's basically part of the reason as to why I never get called. Because it's like, we don't really give a fuck, right? Like, we care, but we just want people to show up. And we don't really care the demographic of the people that show up. And we don't even really know you like that. And you don't have clinical experience and you don't have research and all these different things. And so it's like, nah, why would I? Right? But this is all my assumption. It could be completely different.
Right.
Right? But this is just what I feel. Is like, yo, I don't feel like a lot of these events, again, are geared towards black men and younger black men. And I feel like we see that and it's like, why would I show up to this? And then also on our end, a lot of us are dealing with the walls that we already have up about mental health. And so it's like, nah, why would I do that?
Right.
But yeah, to answer your question, I just feel like the bigger
platform.
names, the bigger platforms in the space,
Yeah.
I don't think they see it. And I think it's up to me. It's not their. It's not up to them because they move off of what they see is popular. You get what I'm saying? So it's just up to me to get more popular. So I take it as more work for me to do versus them not doing what they're supposed to do.
How much more popular you gotta get? Cause you popular.
I got
feel like you are a bigger name.
Yeah,
I see why you're not there.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm realizing that this is all about clout. Like when it comes to these bigger events, it's about clout. It's about clout and it's about who you know.
That's so problematic for me. Hearing
yeah.
that in regards to the mental health and wellness space. That's why when I say I don't play the social media game, I'm dead serious.
Nah,
I feel like I don't understand why this would even be a thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're famous already, and then it's like boom, now you transition and you are a mental health advocate and you're advocating for mental health, and that might be a little different because it's like you already were famous maybe for something, because there's a lot of celebrities, singers, NFL players.
Yep.
There's so many people who maybe at one point their career or life trajectory was different, and then something happened in their life and they became an advocate, and then now are in these spaces and in these rooms and built their brand differently, which I admire as well. But I feel like, I don't know, when it comes to like clinicians or like people in the realm, like where it's like,
here's the thing, right? Like for people that are like smaller, it's not about clout for them. They just create an event and they just hope whoever comes, right? But when you start having these bigger events and you have sponsorships and all these different things, it's about what names I can get in there. It's about what names I can get in there, right? And so it really does become a game of clout. That's really what it is. That's what I've realized, right? And you may think I'm big, right? But other people look at me and they're like, yeah,
change. Well,
yeah. But don't get me wrong, like people see what I'm doing.
For sure.
People see what I'm doing.
You're all over social media, so
yeah.
Whether they like via social media, they see it.
They see what I'm doing. It's only a matter of time because at some point in time, it's gonna become too big for it to be denied.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's gonna be like, what the hell are you doing if you don't have me there?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting.
Are you reaching out?
I'm not reaching out. So I also have some work to do because we just talked about that.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not reaching out, so I also have some work to do. I'm gonna hold myself accountable to that, but also I'm not being given an opportunity to reach out because a lot of the times when these things are planned, I don't even know that things are being planned.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, how am I even gonna reach out when I don't even know things are being planned?
Yeah.
Or there's people that I may know that are there, and maybe they mentioned my name, maybe they didn't, but maybe you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna do so I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Somebody reached out to me to do an event, and they were like, "Yeah, and I'm potentially maybe looking at having other people there." I was like, "Yo, bro, what's up? Like, if you're trying to have other people there, like, they had already reached out to me." I was like, "Yo, bro, like, I know a couple other people. I'm already trying to plug in." You get what I'm saying? But a lot of times we don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, it's like, okay, I got in, cool. I'm taken care of, great. If these other people get in, cool, I'll see them there. But if not, it don't matter, right? It's not about really taking care of everybody. Like the black, I've been on record to say the black mental health space has been the most collaborative, like black space I've been in. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It has. But as I get a little bit bigger, I'm starting to see some of the, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see some of the like certain things. I'm like,
Yeah.
And is this am I exhibiting entitlement here? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not at the point. I'm not at the point where I should be called, right? But for me personally, I'm like, I don't know. I think I should. I think I should. And I think I have. I think I have a community of people that would say the same thing.
Yeah. I think you should be called.
Yeah.
But I think I think also, which you're gonna get on that, which is if you feel like you should be in a different space and different realm, higher, sometimes it just takes more on you to just get yourself there.
Yeah.
Versus, because that's what I think it is really with the black community. Not to say it's a crabs in a barrel mentality, but I feel like a lot of times people, they admire more so you kind of getting it out the mud and getting yourself there, and then they be like, all right, You worked.
You
You worked for it.
you struggled to
You
get here, so
struggled to
now
get
you
here, so
deserve
now
it.